everyone. Hi, how you doing today? It's me, Aura. Today I'm going to be playing through the first chapter of Higurashi When They Cry Hou, which I believe is the upgraded or updated version of the game that they have on Steam. And it's got, I think, new graphics, probably added content, stuff like that. The Higurashi series, or the When They Cry series in general, is one that I'm pretty familiar with. I actually discovered the series. I think I just randomly found the anime at, like, I don't know, Fry's Electronics or something. Oh, hi, Undeer. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for coming. But I found the anime just by chance, and I was like, oh, this looks spooky, you know, I'll give it a shot, and I fell in love with it. And there's, I think I watched the entire first series and the second series, which I believe was Kai is the second series, and then I started Ray but didn't finish it. I really need to finish it. I need to watch the new series that came out too. I've heard good things, and I'm of course familiar with the other one of the other When They Cry series called Umineko no Nakukoro ni, or When the Seagulls Cry, and this one is Higurashi no Nakukoro ni, or When the Cicadas Cry. It's not a typical video game. It's not really a typical visual novel either. It's kind of what they call a sound novel, which means it's very much like a book, but there are sounds and graphics that make it a little bit more immersive than just reading text on a page. Undeer says, I've been wanting to play this myself too. Oh yeah, it's great. Oh man, is my chat not showing up? I hope my chat is working. I don't think it's working over here. Let's see. That's something fun for me to fix next time. But, scuff aside, let's get right into it, shall we? I want to revisit the small village of Hinamizawa. And let's go. Let me get rid of boop. Love a good scuff. And let's get the game up here. Boop and boop. There we go. I'll get rid of my Kanu here. There we are. And get the music going. Or I guess it's actually cicadas. The chat is not showing up. Ah, well. That's something fun for me to fix. That's fine. Okay, let me get a swig of water before we begin. It's going to be a lot of voice acting for me, so I'm kind of excited. But, I miss this series. I miss this village. Let's get to it. Boop and boop. Oh. Okay. Onikakshi. I believe that means spirited away by demons. Welcome to the world of Higurashi When They Cry. The Onikakshi arc will be the opening inviting you into this world. Don't play tough. Please just enjoy life in Hinamizawa to the fullest. The difficulty is extremely high, but I hope you will enjoy the reward. Whoa, now. Okay, let's go. Oh my gosh. That's I don't remember it being this creepy. Please do not lament. I will forgive you even if the world does not forgive you. Please do not lament. I will forgive you even if you will not forgive the world. So please tell me, what will it take for you to forgive me? Frederica Byrne-Castell. Oh. We're off to a great start. If I was going to be ripped apart anyways, having my body ripped apart would have been far better. Aww. I trusted her. No, I still trust her. Even in this very moment, I trust her. But I'm starting to realize I only wanted to trust her because I refused to accept the truth. It was as if I was trying to convince myself in such a silly, sobbing voice. And those tears making a mess of my face, that mechanical, repetitious sound finally stilled and everything fell silent. Only the cry of the cicadas remained, annoyingly loud. And yet, I felt as if I could still hear her voice. But that's not possible. She's no longer speaking. The only one crying is me. She never cried. Even when she repeated those words over and over, she never expressed any emotion because there were none to show. If she had no tears to shed for me, then I shouldn't need to shed any for her. Then why? This pain, my eyes getting moist. Why was this happening? I still wanted to believe I hadn't been split apart. That's enough, right? Inside me, an inner voice whispered gently. My spirit had suffered enough. And countless times I'd wavered over whether I should just throw the battered thing away. Except I've stubbornly refused to do that, haven't I? I'd feel better if I just threw it away. Even knowing that, I chose to believe, didn't I? Only I can understand that painful struggle and appreciate it. Hey, me? I've tried more than enough. I'll acknowledge that much. So, isn't it all right to just take the easy way out? Besides, I'm not throwing it away. I'm leaving it behind with her, like flowers by a grave. Now then, calm your nerves. Even though you can't feel your right arm, just lift it up. And with every swing, forget a little more. That kindness made me happy. That adorable smile brought me joy. I liked petting your head. I loved how demure you were. Because this will be the last time. Because when I swing this down, I'll forget. This is my first and last bouquet for you. Perhaps I really did love you. Oh, I'm so sad. Oh, I'm so sad. This is sad. Somebody has been apologizing for a while now. Oh, I guess I can control now. That's great. Ooh, it's a little loud for me. Is it okay for you, chat? Are we okay? Audio good? I wonder what she's apologizing for. It felt wrong to eavesdrop, so I tried to ignore it. It had been a while since I'd last went to the city. I only returned to attend the funeral of a relative. Oh, welcome, Kuma Bear. Nice to see you. Yeah, we're off to a rough start. Fine by me? Okay, excellent. Thanks for coming, guys. Even though I'd lived there until last month, I found the bustle of the city to be overwhelming. Those skyscrapers and the multi-lane roads, the melodious cacophony of the crosswalk. Even the campaign speeches blaring in front of the station felt nostalgic. Audio sounds good? Okay, great. Thanks, chat. The place where I live now isn't nearly as lively. There's only the chirping of locusts and the babbling of brooks. And the cry of the higurashi, the evening cicadas. Rather than making me feel lonely, that quietness had begun to instill a sense of serenity. There's nothing where I'm living now. I don't just mean there aren't any burger joints. There aren't even vending machines. No music stores, no restaurants, and no arcades. Even an ice cream parlor would be unlikely. The nearest town has some stuff like that, but it's an hour away by bike. But come to think of it, it wasn't really a big deal. There were music stores and arcades and ice cream parlors, but it wasn't like I ever hung out at any of them. I had lived in the city for 10 years and never once been to an ice cream parlor. I should have gone at least once. It's only now that I'm starting to regret that a little. Somebody is still apologizing. Who is she apologizing to? She's apologized so much, so just forgive her already. There's no reason anyone should ever need to apologize so much. I started to feel a bit annoyed at whoever was refusing to forgive her. No matter how bad the mistake, there's nothing that can't be forgiven. There's no such thing as an irreparable mistake. You just need to be more careful next time. She's still apologizing, even now. Then, has she really done something that can't be fixed? Hi, Bridgie! How you doing? Thank you for coming. I have no idea what she's done, but if it can't be fixed, then that's all the more reason to forgive her. No matter how much she apologizes. Is this spooky? Yes! It probably won't start out that way, but yes, it is indeed a spooky story. No matter how much she apologizes, nothing will change. But even so, she keeps apologizing in such a heartbreaking voice. Hey, you, the one she's apologizing to. Why don't you just go ahead and forgive her? She's apologizing in such a pathetic voice. Keiichi, we're almost there. Wake up. That's probably my mom. Oh, father. Just kidding. I keep forgetting Keiichi has a dad because I don't think he popped up in the main anime. I was finally roused from my nap by my father's prodding. The manga of the series is also very, very good. If you ever get a chance to read the manga, it's very great. It seemed the train had reached its final stop. We'd spent hours riding everything from the bullet train to the local routes. It was hard to believe that the landscape beyond the window in the city I was in half a day ago were in the same country. No, that they were even in from the same era. From there, we'd take a car deeper into the mountains. There we go. Now we're home! Hinamizawa! Past where the dense forest encroaching on the mountain road suddenly opened up. There, where I live now. Hinamizawa. Yay! We made it, guys! You have the first volume of the manga right there next to you. Oh, it's so good! Especially the first arc. I love the art in the first arc. It's so good. Ah! Scene change. I can't wait for the character sprites to pop up. I haven't looked that much into what they look like in this version. Yeah, the charm of the original Ryukishi sprites is always so nice, but I'm curious to see what the revamped ones look like. Even though we were approaching summer, the morning air still had a frigid bite. Although in exchange, you could fill your lungs up with crisp, clean air. Flipping open the window, I was greeted with a verdant expanse. You gotta go in a bit. Okay, well, thank you, Undir, for stopping by. It was great having you. And of course, you know, the VOD will be up in a couple of hours. No biggie. Nothing but trees. The neighboring house was far away on the other side, so I was probably the only one enjoying that view and that air. I filled my lungs with another deep breath. Let's all take a deep breath, everybody. Let's pretend we're in Hinamizawa. Since I started living in Hinamizawa, I learned that even air had its own taste. I quickly finished getting ready for school and headed downstairs for breakfast. My mother was the only one there. My father was nowhere to be seen. He was probably up working until the early morning. Dad had a rather unconventional job as a painter. It's such a laid-back profession. Get up when you want, sleep when you want, and work when you want. I was so jealous of that easygoing lifestyle. I even wrote for school that I wanted to be a painter when I grew up. Dad was ecstatic about that. It was just because it looked easy. I'd never tell him that, though. Mom laid breakfast out on the table. Seaweed, pickled vegetables, raw egg, and grilled salmon. Sounds like a traditional Japanese breakfast. No miso soup, though. My mom was such a good cook, it was scary. A perfect, immaculate, ideal breakfast. Unlike my dad, who didn't even know the meaning of the word schedule, my mom never squandered any time or effort. She hummed a little tune as she brought over the miso soup. It seemed like she was in a good mood today. I'm so happy you've been waking up early since we moved here, Keiichi. Here's my mom voice. If I don't wake up early, I won't have time to eat breakfast. I thought I was being cute, responding with a wisecrack after being praised for being good. Full bowl of rice, or will half be enough? Pile it on! Yeah! First, I savored the steaming hot rice with the seaweed. After that, I covered it with the egg. Between bites of rice, I enjoyed the crunch of the pickles. Not bad at all. Excellent, as usual. Watching me clean my plate, Mom gave me a warm smile. I'm so happy you haven't skipped breakfast ever since we moved here, Keiichi. I was not a morning person when we lived in the city. Ugh, me neither. I slept right until the last minute before school and rarely ate breakfast. Boycotting the breakfast Mom made me each morning. That was probably the only way I could protest being forced to attend cram school. Oh, poor Keiichi. I hear cram school's no joke. I guess that was what you'd call my rebellious phase. I wouldn't so much as look at the breakfast she woke up early every day to make. If I could go back in time, I'd slap myself. Mindful of the time, Mom rushed me along with a wide grin. Isn't it about time to meet up with Rena-chan? Oh, they kept the honorifics. That's cool. Hurry, hurry! Mom really seemed to enjoy the fact that her son was going to school with a girl. Rena is one of my classmates. She really loves looking after people, coming to meet me every day without fail. The way I looked at it, a guy my age walking to school with a girl was just lame. But, well, keeping a classmate waiting for me every day wouldn't be very considerate. Seriously though, how long does Rena wait there for me every morning? Taking one last gulp of miso soup, I raced for the door. Please thank Rena-chan for the pickles! Come to think of it, those pickles weren't store-bought, were they? If I'd known that, I would have savored them a bit more. Oh, he's so cute. He's, you know, a little shy, but he's a good boy. Keiichi's the best boy. Morning! Do we meet Rena now? Rena! Yay, there she is! Rena! Oh, she's so cute. Keiichi-kun! Good morning! Her cheerful greeting was as fresh as the morning itself. You're always so early. You should try sleeping in sometime. If I sleep in, I'll keep you waiting. She's so conscientious and such a good person. If that ever happens, I'll just leave you behind. Keiichi-kun, you're so cold. I wait for you all the time. I'll leave you in the dust without looking back. Why are you so mean? Why? Rena had a slightly troubled look on her face. Don't tease her, Keiichi. Oh my god. Toying with her was rather fun because of how quickly her mood changed. I'm kidding. I'd wait for you. With those words, Rena seemed to relax. Her face flushed bright red. Thank you. I'd wait forever until you came, Rena. No matter how long. Forever? Rena turned bright red, steam rising from her head as her brain short-circuited. They're so cute! They're so cute! She's especially weak to this sort of talk. It's quite rare to find someone this fun to tease. Keiichi, come on! Have you ever read a romance novel, Rena? Huh. I haven't. Never read any before. From that response, I gathered she was interested in them, but was too embarrassed to actually buy one. I couldn't imagine what would happen if she did read one. She'd probably turn red and pass out. Oh yeah, message from Mom. She says thanks for the pickles. It was nothing. You're welcome. How were they? Not too salty? They weren't that salty. Actually, they had a pretty light flavor to them. It would have been fine to just be honest and say they were good, but apparently I couldn't be that forthright. Keiichi, if you break her heart, I'll break your knees. I'd like to ask something before that. Were you the one who pickled them, Rena? Or was it your mom? Huh? Why do you ask? Were they too salty? Her attitude completely changed as she began to panic frantically. Was it you, Rena, or was it your mom? What? Why are you asking who made them? Why? Depending on who made them, my opinion of them might change drastically. Huh? She counted frantically on her fingers, trying to remember the amount of salt she used to pickle them. It wasn't like I was trying to tease her, but I couldn't stop myself. Guys who take pleasure in this kind of thing are probably the worst. Guys like me. Yeah. At least he realizes it. The first step is acknowledging you have a problem. Rena nervously opened and closed her mouth over and over, trying to muster a response. It was me. Delicious. Oh! Huh? Pretty good, just like the last ones. They went perfectly with the rice. Her face went bright red again. She was completely spacing out. It truly was a lot of fun to tease her. I pray that Rena never gets taken advantage of by some lowlife. Keep at it, Rena. I'll train it until you handle it like the average person. Or so I decided for myself. Let's go. If we keep Mion waiting, we'll never hear the end of it. Seeing as she just keep spacing out otherwise, I called Rena back to reality so we could make our way to school. This strange, easily flustered girl is Rena Ryugu. I've only known her for about a month, but I've come to realize it's not just her name that's strange. Rena is best girl. They're all good, though. All the characters are great. Mi-chan, good morning! Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Mion! Wait, she doesn't have her airsoft gun. That's kind of interesting. The original model for Mion had a airsoft gun kind of under her left arm. Huh. Ah, finally, you two are late. Usually you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Rena, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Rena, and it's been a while, Kei-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze started at my chest and dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. Mion! So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show it to her. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Oh my god, these guys talk like boys. Don't say next time. Right now is just fine. How about letting the little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty you could smell it fouling up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Rena began to ramble in a near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Rena tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. How was it, seeing the city again? Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changing the topic to something more befitting the pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for. You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, you know. It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here, after all.
Is this about games again, Mii-chan?
Mion nodded proudly as Rena giggled. Yep, I wanted Kei-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see? Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, I guess I have to now. I'm gonna get another game full of hot action.
This time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand.
Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I hear she's collected quite a lot of different ones. Ah! I right-clicked!
No, wait, back!
How did I do that? Right-click! Okay, right-click makes the menu pop up. Good to know. According to Rena, Mion's room has kind of become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course! If Kei-chan's up for it, I should warn you though. We're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose.
Whoa! Then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess.
There's not really a great way to translate it, but the way that Rena speaks in the original Japanese is that she will oftentimes repeat the last word of her sentences. Like, she'll be like, I don't know, like, doko kana, you know? It's just a little cute, weird thing she does. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Rena looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave her an affirmative wink, and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys prefer playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. I keep using the wrong voice for characters. That's fine. Rena laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I'd moved here less than a month ago. I understood that they did all they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. Aww. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I felt like if I acted a bit more open than I usually am, it should probably be about right for this place. Hydration check. Everyone drink some water. Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, but there was only one class. That class encompasses all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago, there used to be a bigger school building that they had actual separate classes. However, it seems something happened that made it become a single class, and now it stayed that way out of tradition. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I had already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead. Right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Heh! Too bad. I wasn't going to fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a test of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face.
What is it, you guys?
Step back, Rena. It's dangerous. She's here.
Huh? Then Satoko-chan is...
Her name was Satoko Hojo. Another good girl! She was a disrespectful... she was a disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. The way she talks is annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over just that. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap. A blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious. Satoko! A haughty laugh came from behind the door. Excellent, Kei-chan. I guess that means you win this round. No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes. No escape. No time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from a blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. Ow!
So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop?
That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after, making me focus my attention upward. So as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. That sounds painful. A potent and terrifying trap. Concealed by using the blackboard eraser. An impressive combination, Satoko. But in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured of my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room. I felt something strange at my ankle. It was similar to the sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me, hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner.
Kei-chan, watch out!
Oof. Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ow, ow, ow! An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it. There she is!
My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, Keiichi-san. Aren't we a lively one this morning?
Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko.
I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning.
You little... Ow, ow, ow. It seemed I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I'd landed. Better than landing on that inkstone. Oh, it's Rika. A small hand gently rubbed my head.
Pain, pain, go away.
The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head.
You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears.
I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but I didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now.
Yay! Rika-chan, good morning! Good morning to you, Rena. A good morning to all.
Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rena, Mion, and I all bowed back. So, Chad, are you being lulled into that false sense of security with the cute school antics? Feeling like, you know, we're totally forgetting the premise of this game and what it's about? Is everyone keeping the opening cutscene in their minds? I wonder how we get to that point from here. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over in her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact.
I am the very model of a good girl.
A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps.
Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what proof... Ugh!
I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. Oh no, she's like a cat! She looks like a misbehaved cat when I do this. Yeah, there we go. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. I mean, have you met my cat? I mean, obviously you haven't, but my cat would set traps if she had opposable thumbs. She's much harder to deal with. I'm sorry. Try saying that. If you won't say it. I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. Oh no. Forehead flick.
I'm against violence. You don't even have any proof.
Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half.
Stop! Get away from me, you beast!
Don't say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt.
She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days.
Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick.
It doesn't bother me.
You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting, yeah. Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess those two were the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan.
Next time, set an even more amazing trap.
Wait a minute. Don't do that, Rika. Don't give her ideas. As she observed the scene, Rena's expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon.
Oh, Satoko-chan is crying. So cute.
You can't take them home.
Oh, but they're so cute.
You can't, no matter how cute they are.
But just for a bit is fine. Is fine.
Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home. Object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up.
Then I can just looking. That should be fine, right? Right?
Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away. The teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle were an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Yeah, please watch your fingers. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up.
We made it in time.
Rise! Attention! Mion gave out the morning commands. I love this freaking family. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. Come to think of it, I don't think we've seen Keiichi's sprite yet. I wonder if there's going to be CGs where you can see Keiichi? Because Keiichi's cute! It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one, but naturally she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. And if I remember correctly, I think Rena's like 15, no, 14? Keiichi's 15, Mion's 16, I think. They even end up helping teach the younger kids, so it seems like they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies.
You're a pretty good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand.
Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say that to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there will be trouble later on. With these marks... Oh, you got bad grades, huh? It's not like I'm aiming to go on to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams.
Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too.
You're such a good and honest kid, Rena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted into a good school.
What? Thanks so much.
Especially you, Rena. Private lessons. Just the two of us.
Private lessons?
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Exactly what kind of private lesson is she fantasizing about that's making her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcards, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
That is right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam.
If anyone can get into university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. This old geezer thinks that instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing doing more meaningful things. It was too profound of a statement to simply laugh off. But since it was Mion, it probably didn't have that deep of a meaning. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving handbell drifted through the classroom. Kei-chan, we're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime! In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of the morning period.
Keiichi-kun, let's have lunch!
I might have been making a very troubled face. Rena smiled brightly at me. All right, let's eat! There seem to be different cliques, even within the class. Sorry, this music is so cheerful. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls. But we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Rena and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well.
Keiichi-kun, hurry!
Rena waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunch boxes. This is so cute. Friend group goals.
Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crusts like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just show it to us? Come now.
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start.
At first this was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders may have all been different, but we were all friends. Let's eat! The sound of our little 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom. Really though, I've gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compare that to girls. Well, at least these girls aren't picky. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everyone was free to pick at them. Oh my god, they're sharing food. Oh, they're so cute. I don't want anything bad to ever happen to these kids. I'll protect them. Just, you know, don't pay attention to what happened in the opening cutscene and we're good. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today?
My, isn't Madame Satoko's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoko was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
My, how delicious!
Oh, this Tato is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
I saved some from dinner last night.
By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches were always the same. I was like that in elementary school. way back in the day. Way back in the day. Peanut butter sandwiches. Crust cut off every day. For, let me see, kindergarten, first, like 6 years? I definitely got into a comfort zone back then. Rika-chan made this too. These taste like mom's home cooking. Rika is such a good girl. She can cook. She's so skilled. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold. They were done by hand with a knife. That's not easy to do. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing.
She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing! Rika is quite exceptional in many ways.
That's nothing for you to boast about. Lillian Candidum says, hello, Aura. I hope you're having a good day so far. Yes, I am. Thank you for coming. I'm just, reading aloud some school shenanigans with a bunch of wholesome kiddos before things turn south. But I'm doing great. Thank you again for coming. Ren is actually better at cooking than I am. Wait, really?
Huh? Well, you know.
The little star. It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Rena when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Rena's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled from Rena's lunchbox constantly.
Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope.
It's got high marks from me. Mion, you're taking too much. Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Satoko and Rika-chan reached over at the same time and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Rena's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Rena. Yeah, kinda! But Rena seemed rather satisfied as she looked on.
How did you like it? Isn't Rena-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about.
You're not much different from Kei-chan, Satoko.
Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Satoko's face went pale.
Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know.
I guess that was Keiichi on the first line.
Of course I can! I really can!
It's really hard for her to lie.
Keiichi-kun both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too!
Rena hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Satoko. Lillian in chat says, what? How wholesome. Surely nothing will go wrong. I'm just glad you seem to be enjoying it. Oh yes, I've been a fan of the Higurashi series for a few years now, quite a few years, but this is actually my first time properly playing the sound novel. So it's fun to see the little details I remember from the manga and the anime kind of fleshed out a bit more. And the writing and localization is really good too so far. I'm enjoying it a lot. Well, just pretend it's a little home ec lesson. Now then, Satoko, what's this? Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon.
But that's asparagus.
No! Oh no. Mion made eye contact with me. Within 0.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices. She's pretty terrible.
The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait, the green one is cauliflower.
So which?
Probably the yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is,
Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expect no less from the class representative. The oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. Oh, looking up to her for her teasing and bullying Keiichi? No. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
I do know! I really do!
Then answer the question!
I know! Ooh, ah.
Oh no. See what you did, Mion, you jerk. She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age.
Oh, cute!
Rena entered a state of euphoria as Satoko bawled her eyes out. Rena was in a state of bliss and as she rubbed her cheek against Satoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile.
Rena! Mimi is picking on me!
Oh, Mimi! That's so cute!
Cute! It's okay, Rena One-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister.
Fwish boof bam! It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Rena's fists shot out at supersonic speeds, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Aha! Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled spread eagle on the floor, staring up at the ceiling with matching welts on our faces. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped our heads back to the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Rena.
See, Satoko-chan, I took care of them. Oh, cute. I want to take you home.
Making sure Rena couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Rena like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. Lunchtime is over. Is school over? Ah. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadows stretched off into the distance. Well, now that school's over, kiddos, time to take a water break. Hydration check. Posture check.
Hey, Keiichi-kun, do you have plans or anything?
Oh, tomorrow.
Tomorrow, do you have plans or anything?
Huh? It was such a direct question from Rena, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Subtly? It's one of those wacky English words. Rena saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood and turned red as well.
No, I didn't mean it like that. You see?
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. Oh, what a bummer, huh, Keiichi? But since it's always fun when Rena's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Horrible! This boy is horrible. Oh, really? So, it wasn't meant that way.
Huh?
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
Keiichi-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Mi-chan!
Unable to hold it in any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. This old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that.
Huh? What is it?
Mion was rolling on the floor. Wait, aren't we outside? Clutching her stomach while Rena flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well. Feeling just a bit guilty, I ruffled Rena's hair. Kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one.
Huh? A joke? Since when?
Huh? About halfway through. Halfway? So, Kei-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start?
Huh? That means...
It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see... Saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. Just answer her question, are you free tomorrow or nah? Yeah, thank you. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Rena?
Huh? Oh, what were we talking about?
It had been so long that Rena had forgotten. That's how long Mion had teased me. It's just... Oh, Kei-chan. Oh, that's Mion. It's just, Kei-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamizawa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times like we were playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school.
Yes. So you see...
Oh, this is Rena.
So you see, tomorrow we were thinking that Michan and I could escort you through Hinamizawa and show you around.
Oh, that would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl, you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front.
Kichi-kun, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps?
While Mion and I had our rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me, I apologize. I'm free.
Great!
The trepidation disappeared from Rena's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now! Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Rena, isn't there? Seems Mion didn't care for how rude I was to her compared to how quickly I agreed with Rena. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Rena forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Rena. Maybe it should just be the 2 of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind.
Huh, whoa! If Kichi-kun is okay with that, then...
I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Keiichi Maebara! It'd be great if the 2 of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Rena?
If we're bringing a basket, I'll make all the food, maybe. Maybe.
Don't you ignore me too, Rena. I'll tell everyone that you 2 disappeared into the hotel district together.
Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Tomorrow's gonna be so fun. Later, Keiichi-kun, Michan, bye!
Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There's over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easier if you stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this'll end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Rena. You need to train up and have a rematch. Kei-chan, you should. This old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Rena's infallible technique. Everything seems so fine, you know? So, happy and positive. Oh, another scene change. It's like, boy, nothing could go wrong. Ooh. I forgot about tips. Oh. That's fun. I think this is gonna be like, oh gosh, the music. Why? It's like, don't forget, this is a spooky game. Yeah, so I'm guessing they don't have a uniform. I think I vaguely remember this because, you know, there's 30 kids, but, how do you get a uniform specifically for a class that small? Like, the whole school has 30 kids. So I think it's just kind of like, wear what you got. And, this probably explains the same thing. Maybe we'll go through tips at one point. Right now, I'm just going to keep on rolling with the chapter. Let's see. Should I save? Let me see if I can save. Save! Yes. Wait, end of chapter 1? Hold on. Is this the end of chapter 1? Hold on. If that's it for chapter 1, I'm gonna have to get chapter 2. But that can't be right. Okay. Okay. I was worried I was gonna have to, like, quickly buy chapter 2. But, Yeah, this is probably done more like in arcs rather than actual chapters. So, let's keep on keeping on. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Casual clothes! Oh, look at Rena's dress. It's so cute! I say casual. I don't know if there's really much casual about that, but it sure looks cute. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. And Mion still doesn't have her airsoft gun. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting? Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Rena did really make a picnic. Oh, picnic! Picnic with the girls! Kei-chan, after you left... That's Kei-chan, so Mion. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. Oh. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? One day I'm gonna get these rolls down. She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? All right. I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turned and around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this was Rena we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? 2 kilos, excuse me? Of food? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Kichi-kun is a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave ho. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunch boxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. This little girl is ripped. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Maebara-kun, I believe. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passers-by even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people in. When all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. Paranoid, you say? It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Maebara fella who just moved here? Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa was not to be trifled with. Yeah, you'll find out more about that later. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takezo from the Makino bike shop.
His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute.
Next, we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future.
And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic.
Mio! Oh, we'll meet her later.
Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography.
You know the names of everyone we pass by, and even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah, we're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I?
You're Keiichi Maebata. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers, didn't you? That's enough! That's enough!
But boxers?
Enough of that! Apparently there is absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. Yeah, like, hey, have you met Keiichi? Hello, sir. This is Keiichi. Have you met him?
That's right.
Wait, really? They admit it? We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here at Hinamizawa. What? Apparently the mouse wheel does something. Interesting. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. Oh, that's kind of nice. I thought maybe that, you know, being such a tiny town that they'd be kind of wary of outsiders, you know, like treat them mean. But that's kind of nice that they're nice to people from out of town. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of "you're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my Bata-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation for how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe?
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave it to this old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we may as well go somewhere with a good view.
Wow, yes! Good idea, I agree.
Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. So I know there's a lot of buildup in this game. A lot of that whole sense of security thing I mentioned earlier during the school scene. And the game definitely starts out in a way where you kind of forget the whole spooky look that the title screen has, the spooky sound effects that the menus have, stuff like that. It really makes you think like, oh, I'm just in a lighthearted visual novel kind of thing. But I'm planning on playing at least, if I can't finish the whole thing today, which I honestly have no idea. If it's the whole first question arc, then yeah, there's absolutely no way I'm going to be able to finish this. But I'm going to at least keep going until something spooky happens. Because that's the good stuff. Alright, here we go. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. While I'm taking a water break right now, let's also do hydration check, but also subscription check. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're enjoying yourself hanging out with the girls from Hinamizawa, do like and maybe leave a comment if you'd like. Your support keeps me going. And without further ado, a drink of water. All right. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place. Be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Haha, festival, yes! Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer.
Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there.
Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. Man, doesn't a shrine picnic just sound amazing? I'd love to do that. I think it'd be really relaxing. Sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, Oh, good, helpers.
Good afternoon.
It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see. This was her secret plan. To power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion! Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this?
Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena.
I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property?
The temple is public grounds. It's not yours.
Keiichi is right. This is everyone's property.
Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Shrine picnic sounds lovely, TBH, doesn't it? Especially like a mountain shrine, one with lots of stairs leading up to the top, so like you have that view like this in the background. Especially if it's like spring or maybe even autumn. Oh, autumn would be lovely. Putting that on my bucket list. Shrine picnic.
Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot?
No spot for you and nothing for you to eat.
Don't worry, there's some for you too.
None! I'll eat all of hers.
I will not allow that! Rika! Here, chopsticks.
Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. And really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this.
Have a plate, one for me-chan and Rika-chan too.
Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. I'm glad there was chopsticks for everybody.
If we don't hurry, it'll all be eaten
up. Oh no, look at her little sad face. Rika, no. That's right. Okay, shall we commence this battle?
Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone.
Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Green tea, perhaps? Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
I will not allow you to have all this hamburger!
Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko!
Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules.
It was a tough battle, blocking her with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening move. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
Ah, the last meatball!
Satoko Hojo has been bested! Nom! Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rika-chan petted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. Just think about that for a minute. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Is it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? Seems that long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think?
It's probably because back then the people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor.
That's just you.
But, you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean.
She blushed a little as she said that.
It was delicious.
With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence.
Oh.
As Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof.
Oh! Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you!
It was really delicious. Cute. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special!
2 apple rabbits! After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look?
Has everyone prepared a proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san?
Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab?
Well then, allow me to show you.
After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
Hey! So, Rena One-chan's lunch? Satoko thought it was yummy too.
Satoko looked up at her pouty while talking cutesy. What? How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Rena limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it! Rena! Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her.
Cute! Satoko is so cute. Take you home. Oh.
Swish. Stab. Push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. Goodness. I can read. It took only 5 seconds to take down Rena. That's unfair to think she had such a trick.
If it upsets you so much, why not reward Rena-san with some praise?
Damn it! That was a dirty trick! First of all, that wasn't even praise! Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion! What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is going to be the one who does it. What?
Why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid.
Oh dear. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right?
No. Actually, almost all of it was frozen stuff.
Then which ones did you make fresh?
Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I?
From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face.
How can you tell? How? That I made it?
Of course Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits or something. I can't be charming, Keiichi. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, I felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then at that moment, whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
Please eat some, Keiichi-kun! There's plenty for you!
War? Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over.
Okay, say Keiichi-kun.
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple after another was forced into my mouth. More and more apples. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it?
I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all.
Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something.
Rika-chan, you're not eating it? Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe?
Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do.
Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him.
I want to save him. That was the sound of blood spurting from Rena's nose.
Cute. Tonight I will take you home.
She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all the apples around me, gathered them up with a flip, and fixed them back on a plate.
Now they're all just fine, Kay. Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, Kay? Kay?
Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having the plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." Oh, Rika! I thought you were neutral. Sneaky. What? A comeback? Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. Scene change. I wonder what we're gonna do now. That might be the last happy thing I remember from the first arc, maybe. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Rena and Kei-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time.
See you tomorrow.
Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion, and it ended with just Rena and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home.
Thanks for coming today, Keiichi-kun. Was it fun?
Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now.
Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour maybe? Maybe?
Oh, snap! Oh, snap! Are we getting into it? I'm being way too excited. A detour? Is it far?
It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long.
Also, I apologize for how every female character sounds with my voice. I feel like, I don't know, I like my Keiichi voice just fine, but I feel like everyone else is just a little off. And I apologize that I can't sound like an adorable little schoolgirl. But, hey, we're not here for professional voice acting, are we? Since we've been walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Boy, it is a little bit of a walk, huh? Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper.
It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. I wonder what's here.
When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here was with this garbage pile? That's interesting. Yeah, I remember the dump and like in the anime, for example, and I just thought it was just the Hinamizawa dump. I had no idea that it was the remains of the construction site. Interesting. Very interesting.
It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure.
Imagine if this girl lived anywhere near a thrift store. She would go ham. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here?
Whoa, a new pile! I can't wait! I can't wait!
She bounded up the unstable slope. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa, whoa, whoa. My city-raised self was completely pitiful.
It's alright, just stay right there, Keiichi-kun. It won't take long.
Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step.
I'm fine. This is nothing at all.
Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Fairly exhausted, I began to get a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles around alerted me. Oh my god. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. I remember this character, and I remember him being a little bit of a loser. I do not remember him being, like, ripped. Oh, no. Be careful who you call a nerd in high school. Standing there was a typical looking... Typical? Have you seen these biceps? Typical looking photographer. I didn't know photographers were all swole. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit. But something about him seemed unreliable, and he had a bit of an aloof air about him. God, Keiichi, you're so judgmental. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa, you surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gathered that he wasn't from that question. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomitake, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask who you were. Quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. They can't refuse, you see. So what, you're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your photo without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Rena would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomitake-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself.
Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now.
Rena popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. You have someone with you? What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Dunno. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomitake-san looked shaken up by that for a moment. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Rena and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms.
Keiichi-kun, sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess.
I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Keiichi-kun. Oh boy. Well, we've gotten our first taste of the horrors that lay beyond the surface of Hinamizawa. Tomitake-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit.
Keiichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder.
It wasn't Rena's fault, so I decided to just brush it off for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove?
Oh, yes, so listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll.
A Colonel Sanders doll? Oh, that thing. Those statues they always have out in front of the fried chicken place. That life-size dummy?
Yes, Colonel Sanders.
I think in the anime they called it Kenta-kun, like Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's so great.
Oh, cute. I want to take it home.
I would love to see what her house looks like. If she thinks like a battered old Colonel Sanders statue is like cute, I want to see what other things she thinks is cute. I couldn't tell if she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just took it home, right?
It became the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lamppost over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon.
Rena seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to bring it back. I'll help you out. To repay you after that delicious picnic you prepared today.
Oh, thank you.
Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would soon be upon us.
Keiichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. How?
Rena staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of the cheery state. Hey, Rena. Long ago, did something happen here?
Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. How?
Just wondering if you knew about, you know, an accident or something.
I don't know.
Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. I must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Rena quickly lightened her expression.
Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago.
Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that...
So you see, I don't really know much from before that. Sorry.
Don't really know. Don't want to talk about it. That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of thing girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If If it's just like Tomitake-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. Ooh. Okay, so if you've stuck with me this long, that means we're finally getting into the meat of the matter. The idyllic, happy school life. Oh. Okay, this I might need to check out. My borrowed mansion, oh boy. We're getting into the meat of it. I'm excited. It's finally starting to get into the, something happened. And Keiichi might soon want to know why. So let's view the tips. I think this might be a good time to view the tips. God, I hate the music. Okay. Let's start with this one. We'll start a little light, I guess. I'm guessing it'll be like a little short scene about it. So, Rena, we're the same age?
Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too.
Hey, now, it'd be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, I see.
Oh, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. What month were you born, by the way, Keiichi-kun?
I'm July. Oh, she's the summer birthday. Lillian says, things starting to happen. Yes, things are starting to get spooky. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. I've always wanted a summer, or June birthday would be great. June 23rd, specifically. Because that's Sonic the Hedgehog's birthday. Hey now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday's a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month.
Huh? Huh? Why? Why?
Rena panicked at suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I'm certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just, sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun, I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Kei-chan. Right on. Too bad, Rena. I'm already far older than Rena.
Oh. I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan.
Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mion snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about. As if I'm one to talk. Heh. Lillian says, I didn't know that big Sonic fan aura. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Don't worry, once I start playing Sonic on this channel, all hell will break loose. Sonic's my hero. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on.
Nii-chan, you're not making any sense to me.
Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they?
Keiichi-kun, your tastes are a bit too young, I think.
You're not making any sense yourself, Rena. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit.
Oh, stop it!
I wondered about it before, yeah. I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services, after all. Oh, I didn't know that. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I thought our school was strange for a while now. So this is a rented school? That is so weird. The schoolyard is gravel. There are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. Probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know?
Which school would that be?
Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okinomiya train station, turn at the hospital, and head towards the pediatrics department? Lillian says, I'll be waiting for those streams. Sonic is great. Ah, yes. Another Sonic fan. Yay. I have such a pure love in my heart for Sonic. It's a very special series for me. I could talk about it forever. What? So far? I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Rena's reaction. I think the Okinomiya? My memory is already just garbage. Okinomiya? That's the town I think that Keiichi said was an hour by bike. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to commute to Okinomiya, I'm gonna have to get used to rolling that off the tongue, because we'll be seeing a lot more of Okinomiya very soon. Well, maybe not very soon, but we will in the future. Okinomiya rented out the building from the forestry services and are attending this pseudo schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamizawa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right, that's right. I totally agree with Rena on this one. Yes, that's right. That's right. Let's try our best. All of you try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future is bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Kei-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? What do you mean? Hey, you're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue in her response. It is just as Mion says. This school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Ah, is that the end of the tip? Yeah, okay. We learned some things. Things I didn't know. Taking a sip of water. Okay. Oh, I can't wait to get to this one. Hoo-hoo, hoo-hoo. It's only June, but it's already so hot. I could hear the higurashi outside chirping, me, me, and at night there are mosquitoes. Might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare! Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she was still a girl. Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. My brain is fried egg. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during the season and how steamy the crotch gets. Keiichi, not necessary. It gets steamy. How? This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. Yeah, Satoko's a bit of a dimwit. She's wearing like pantyhose. Like, no thanks. Not in this heat. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute being a one piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. How? I had a feeling that Rena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There were a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Wait. I've just been Satoko this whole time. Why, yes, Mion-san supplied them. Oh! Michan's relative runs a secondhand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. That's cool. I think that Rena's school uniform is especially adorable. It's a classic seifuku, but with nice colors. Not the typical red ascot with the blue trim. Very cute. Satoko's dress is also very cute, though I wish the skirt was a bit more full, but, you know, that's just me. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange secondhand clothing store. I get that it's a secondhand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a secondhand clothing store. What's the point of stocking up clothes from faraway schools I know nothing about?
Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms.
Ew!
I don't like the idea of having used ones.
Yeah, me either, Rena. Like, I would bleach the heck out of those. No thanks. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. Gross. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more.
But Mion-san says it'll be a big hit and become a great store. With such conviction.
Secondhand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. Okay. We're going to learn about Keiichi's house, the Maebara Manor. That makes it sound like it's a very large home. So, Kei-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to school in a limo before? How much do you get for a monthly allowance? About $10? For a month?
My, that's a rather plebeian amount. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich.
What are they all talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told it's a plebeian amount?
Sorry.
Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giggling. Kei-chan, your house, you know, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maebara Manor, and it sort of stands out. Maebara Manor?
Since the house is so big, everybody's gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are.
I see. Now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings.
From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that's why they're now broke. Being broke, how very, very unfortunate.
Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. There are a bunch of different workshops and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people and cars could come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio, and is normally sealed off. The entranceway the Maebara family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Kei-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich, but having a home like that? What could be hidden there?
Maybe there's something cute hidden. Oh. They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I'd love to try rolling around on the floor. Wow, that'd be great. So great. I want to roll around too.
Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all over to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio. The cry of the Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Okay, that's the end of that tip. And actually, it looks like by the time we finish this last tip, maybe it'll be close to the 2-hour mark. So maybe it'll be a good time to save and quit. We're getting into the juicy stuff. So I think that'd be, you know, a great thing. I just realized that I named this first part of the video after a certain character having a knife, but we haven't even gotten to see the knife yet. I might have to change the title of the video. We'll see. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Okay, here we go. Speaking of dismemberment, or I guess speaking of knives, here we go. From the June XX 1979 edition. The Shishibone City, Okinomiya Police Station, June XX, late at night. Suspects Bloop, Blop, Bleep, Blorp, and Blip were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, Blip, has been added to the wanted list nationwide. According to our sources, the According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the XX at 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer XXXX as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On the Blorps at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Blip. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested the same day, but the main culprit is still at large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimonies, the investigation is ongoing. Well, so, murder in Hinamizawa. And had to do with the dam construction overseer. So it seems like the dam is pretty important to this story. Whew. Okay. Well, I'm gonna save my game. Close. And I guess I can't quit from here. Let's hit continue, and then I will quit from the next. Ooh, it's white. Okay. Hey, we're back at school. Everything's happy. Okay. Return to main menu. Okay. Well, it took a little bit of warming up, but next time I play this, which will be very soon, we're going to maybe start seeing some blood. We'll definitely see a knife. Won't spoil it, but boy, it's kind of unfortunate, you know, when you're seeing like all this happy stuff and you just know something's gonna go wrong. So with that, this will be the end of my part 1 for the Higurashi When They Cry Hou playthrough. I will hopefully be playing part 2 next week as part of my 3 streams for the week. My next stream will be this Saturday evening. I'm going to be playing part 3 and maybe the final part of A Way Out with Ko Nasubi on my YouTube and on his YouTube as well. And for the week after that, who knows? Who knows? We will see. I'd like to thank you all for coming and listening to these cicadas with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps keep me going. And I'm almost, you know, I think I might get, what, almost 80 subscribers now. So that's really cool. And I thank every one of you. And I can't wait to see what I'll be playing when we hit 100. Can't do it without you guys, so thanks again for your support. With that, this has been me, Aura Sinclair. Links are in the description for my Twitter and my group Lifestyles Twitter and YouTube channel. Thank you again. This has been me, Aura Sinclair. Have a good one.